What's going on, everybody? This is Mike, along with Steve from Man Cave Sports, here to recap the Vikings' Week 2 victory over the San Francisco 49ers, 23-17. Vikings have went to 2-0 now. They've had a great start to the season. Some probably didn't expect that. I'll be honest. I'm one of them that thought we might struggle this year, but gotta say, Sam Darnold has been the real deal. That defense, B-Flow's defense, is the real deal. So, happy to report that the game went well. We came out with a couple of injuries. That's going to be a big problem. Hopefully we can get Addison back. I think Jefferson will be back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's day to day.
But
Jefferson's got a big owie on his thigh. It's nothing. You just got to man up, grow a big set, and he'll be okay.
Yeah, and the running game looked solid. I know Ty Chandler picked up Jones. He struggled. The fumble was very costly. Unfortunately, almost changed the outcome of the game, but nonetheless, the defense saved them. Got them off the field on a couple of big fourth downs, and all is well in Viking land.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that people did not do was give the Vikings any credit. I think a lot of these pundits and things, that all these talking heads, I think they know everything and under whatever's underneath every rock for when it comes to sports world. They looked at the Vikings and said, Kirk Cousins is gone. We don't know who you're bringing in. But if you look at B-Flow's defense, he brought in Blake Cashman. He brought in Van Ginkel. He brought in Bernard. He brought in, Kwesi went out and cooked, and that's maybe a bit of a cliche, but he went out and cooked and brought in people that we needed to be able to run B-Flow style of defense. And I think that's something very important and very promising for our team for the future, is that there is that level of communication between front office and the coaching staff, so that the coaching staff say, hey, we need to run this X type of program. We need these type of players to be able to get that done. And I think so far we're seeing the results on that. Like you talked about Pat Jones. Pat Jones has been with the team for a while, and people are like, who? And now he's flashing, showing up. He's number 2 right now, just behind Aiden Hutchinson. He's got 4 sacks on the season. He's got multiple tackles for loss. He's been showing out. So he's not just, a one-trick pony rushing the quarterback. He's actually getting in there and handling his own against future Hall of Famer Trent Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, Trent Williams is sure first ballot lock Hall of Famer, and Pat Jones handled him just fine. Blake Cashman, for that matter, bounced, went in, body checked Trent Williams to go right into a sack on Brock Purdy. So I think that, Kwesi should get some credit for that. Listening to his coaching staff, finding out what they needed for people to run their systems, and then going out and getting the people that they needed to run their systems.
Yeah, defense is looking great. The secondary's out there making plays. You mentioned Van Ginkel. I mean, that was a great pickup. Harry Smith's out there doing what he does for the last 13, 14 years, whatever it is. But nonetheless, very impressed with the defense. Offense is looking good, and that's with a couple of key injuries. I mean, we're still probably 5 or 6 games away from getting Hawkinson back. Addison, who knows if he'll play this weekend against a tough Texans team. And, obviously the Jefferson injury is somewhat concerning, but I think he'll be fine. I know his spirits were up in the locker room after the game, so KOC said he's day to day. I think there's a good chance we'll see him next week, but if not, I would say shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that was really promising about that game was the last drive, the drive that we had to have to put the game away. Sam Darnold's out there throwing to our preseason crew, right? You got, when Powell's, kind of like your number 1 receiver out there, because you don't have Jefferson. Hawkinson's obviously out. Aaron Jones was sitting on the sideline. He wasn't doing, I don't know if he's cramping or what the issue was. He was kind of dinged up. So he wasn't out there. And so Sam Darnold went out, sacked up and said, I got this. And that one throw that he had on that key third down, like he whipped it. The receiver didn't even have his head turned around. There's 3 defenders right by him. Sam Darnold stepped in and just let it go and trusted his teammates to make a play. So I think that's huge. I think that is very telling for the maturation of Sam Darnold, and then the play calling of KOC. Dan Orlovsky today was talking on one of his shows about how he thinks Shanahan got outcoached by KOC and by B-Flow. That we outcoached him, and Kyle Shanahan's regarded as one of the best NFL offensive minds, and we took it to him. So, again, the streak continues. 49ers don't ever want to come play in our house. I think that could prove big if we, provided we keep going and we can make the playoffs. if we end up with a head-to-head, we might actually get a home field advantage against the Niners, and that would be huge because they haven't beaten us in our own home since '92.
Yeah, I saw that this week and was talking to my son about that, and just a lot of Vikings fanatics that I talk to on the regular. 32 years. That's, I think, must have been Steve Young and Jerry Rice days. So it's been quite a while, but no, it's good because the 49ers are historically a good franchise, usually in playoff contention, etc. So I mean, that's a significant streak. But yeah, great game, and of course, biggest play of the game, Jefferson for 97 yards.
97 friggin' yards. That was insane. So I'll be honest, I didn't get to watch the game. I was driving back down from being up in the Northwoods this weekend, so I was listening to the great Paul Allen call it, and I almost drove off the road when that was happening because I was freaking out when I was driving on the highway. I was like, oh my God, fist pumping, and my son's in the passenger seat next to me like, Dad, don't drive off the road. So it was amazing. And then to go back and watch the highlights, and you've got all the different angles showing about how that did. Just Darnold's poise in the pocket, and then our much maligned offensive line. Nobody gives our offensive line as much credit as I think. And in some case, I guess that's fine when you've got the center we have and the right guard we have. Sometimes they're a little bit leaky. We've seen that the last couple of years. But I think that one of the things is they all trusted what they were doing. Darnold did not get happy feet. He did the two hitch. The two hop to be able to get into it and just let it go and trusted that Jefferson, that old saying, F it, Jefferson's down there somewhere, right? He just chucked it up and let him go get underneath it and take it. And then the one thing about that people have talked about too is Jalen Naylor was like 20 yards behind where Jefferson was when he caught that ball, and Naylor caught them in order to be able to provide. They kind of get in the way, don't want to get blocking in the back block that he provided that allowed Jefferson to sneak into the corner of the end zone. So I think that when we're looking at plays like that, I think it shows a real maturation of Sam Darnold and what he's been over the last 6 seasons. I think he's comfortable in KOC's offense. He's taken what's being given. I think the support that KOC has given Darnold has made him feel comfortable. Even with J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings, I think Sam Darnold feels comfortable with what KLC's asked him to do.
Yeah, well, and I think after the first 2 weeks, just seeing the locker room post-game video and stuff, I think the team's buying into Sam Darnold. They believe in him and trust him. So, I mean, to have that happen just 2 weeks into the season, not knowing how the season was going to play out, just knowing how he's performed historically, and let's be honest, on some bad teams. So I think this is the first time he's been given a good...
Jets and Panthers, I don't think you need to say anything else.
Yeah, given a supporting cast. So it's cool to see what he's doing. I mean, the one interception was, probably an ill-advised throw, but nonetheless, I mean, he's put some balls in nice places. He's building up the chemistry with Jefferson, which is huge. If Jefferson didn't get hurt, he probably would have had a 200-yard game.
Yeah, easy.
But no, good stuff. So. Good stuff from the Vikings. So, anyways, just going to go over my 3 takeaways from the game.
Sure.
Obviously, we talked about Sam Darnold just gaining the trust, doing such a good job, and let's be honest with the contract that Kirk Cousins was given and what we paid for. I think we paid about 80% discount to get Sam Darnold. We're actually watching Kirk right now. I believe he's struggling again, and we love you, Kirk. You were great, but you're no longer a Viking. So
yeah, Kirk O'Chains is dead.
Yes.
That guy doesn't exist anymore.
Yes. And as much as I like Kirk at $50 million, I was ready to cut the cord. So, anyways, but Darnold's looking great. The defense is excellent. The defense is definitely there. I seen today where at the end of the game, Purdy said to B-Flow, he's just like, your defense
is crazy.
Your scheme is
crazy.
So, and Purdy actually had a decent game. He had a couple of turnovers, but I mean, he was getting pressure. I think 6 sacks. Pat Jones. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who Pat Jones was.
That's not on my bingo card.
Yes, Pat Jones was not on my bingo card this year, and after 2 games, I mean, he's, I know Hutchinson had a great game yesterday or whatever, but I mean, he's got to be up there as one of the better defensive players of the season just in the 2 weeks. So, and then my last takeaway is injuries. Unfortunately, guys, we're a little dinged up. Jefferson's got the quad. I know Aaron Jones looked a little dinged up. He came out of the game, and luckily Ty Chandler was there to pick up. I think he had like 80 yards on 10 carries, didn't skip a beat. I do got to say, KOC, what was the halfback pass near the end of the game? Luckily Chandler was smart enough to throw the damn thing away.
Yeah, Johnny Munt was supposed to get over.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, and I even said to my son Mitchell, like, what the hell was that play called? But nonetheless, Chandler, threw the ball away. Smart decision, etc. So those are my 3 takeaways. I think we're looking good, but tough Texans team coming in next week. We get to see our old buddy Stephon Diggs.
Diggsy. Yeah. I'm more worried about Danielle Hunter next week, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think Danielle Hunter still looks like the same beast he ever was. That sack that he had of Caleb Williams last night, where he just literally Supermaned off the ground on top of Caleb Williams. I don't know about you guys, but that is a brown note in the pants moment for me when you got a man that huge going to Superman.
Yes.
So that's the guy. I'm hoping that the familiarity of Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw with going against Danielle Hunter for so many years is gonna help out. My wrap up is gonna be we're gonna do a staple. The Man Cave bad MFer of the game, for me, it was Blake Cashman, Minnesota's own Eden Prairie, former Golden Gopher, came back home from the Texans this year. 13 tackles, 1 sack. The biggest thing, though, out of all of the stuff that ended up on the stat sheet was his dominance in the pass defense on the middle of the field. If you go back and actually look at his highlights, he got his hands on I don't know how many passes. He interrupted them. The 1 interception that Metellus got, that was because Cashman got his hand in there. There was multiple other plays in which Cashman was involved in getting his hands in tipping balls. He must have had 3, 4, 5 pass breakups during the course of the game, and that's a huge thing. One, from being coached excellently, because we know Brock Purdy likes to attack the center of the field. Blake Cashman watched the tape. He understood his assignment. Blake Cashman gets the bad MFR of the game from the Man Cave Sports. That's what I've got.
All right. Well, I want to tell everybody I appreciate you watching this. This is our inaugural cast. I mean, we've been talking about this for months. Something that's been in the works for a while. Something I've dreamed about doing for quite some time, actually. And started to partner with some good buddies, some sports savants that I know that you'll get to meet here soon on these things. We'll be putting out regular content. So appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to tell your friends. And that is a wrap for Vikings Week 2 from Man Cave Sports. We'll see you later.